Celebrating their 10th anniversary with the series, you might think that Codemasters had almost run out of ideas and inspirations for what they could put into Formula 1 games, but it's actually far from it. They're gearing up for the launch of what is easily their biggest game yet. We got to spend a bit of time playing the game earlier this week, and our thanks have to go out to Koch and Codemasters for taking us out to Hamburg for this preview event. But from this, we've got a lowdown of 7 major new features coming to F1 2019. First up, it's Formula 2. That's right, Codemasters have put something that isn't F1 into an F1 game. But don't look down on Formula 2, because that's where all of the rookies have cut their teeth before being able to step up to the big time. And in the real world, it is full of ambitious, hot-headed young racers fighting tooth and nail to make their mark in the sport. F1 2019 will feature the full F2 2018 season at launch, with the 29 season to be added in a free update later in the year. And it's a good year to bring this feature in, what with George Russell, Lando Norris and Alex Albon all making the leap to F1, so you'll get to race against them through the twin race weekends and all of the quirks and rules that this particular formula has. But that's not all, because Formula 2 is also being woven into the career as you start your personal journey. It's here that you'll earn a friend and a rival character, and it's your on-track actions, such as whether you follow team orders or not, that will go to building up your reputation and determine the opportunities of who you get to sign up with for your first F1 season. Number 2 is an F1 2019 spec car. With the powers that be wanting to keep Formula 1 a sport that is interesting and fun to watch over the coming years, Ross Brawn and his technical team have been coming up with concepts and designing what they expect the cars of the future to look like, as well as then putting their foot down and forcing through some regulation changes. Codemasters have worked with them to create a 2019 spec car and bring it into the game, and that is particularly useful because of number 3, a boatload of new eSports features. The Formula 1 eSports series has been running for the last 2 years on Codemasters games, and for 2019 they are going all in with this. There's going to be a dedicated eSports hub built into F1 2019 where you can take part in qualifying events or catch up on the competitors that are far better at the game than you and watch highlight reels from the races. One big aesthetic change is that everybody in this eSports series will now be racing in the spec car instead of picking real-world team cars. That opens the door to number 4, custom liveries. Even though it's just a 50-50 gamble, real-world commentators still struggle to figure out who it is that is sat in the cockpit of a car. So eSports shoutcasters will be delighted to hear that the job has been made so much easier for them because the spec car can have custom livery slapped on it, as well as also then having custom helmets and jumpsuits for the drivers. All of these cosmetics are earned from racing online and gathering up competition points to spend on making your car look all kinds of fancy. Number 5, there's just more ways to play online. Taking a step away from esports, there's also tons of new features coming to the rest of the online game, as Codemasters have answered pretty much every single request that I might have ever had for their series. For those that just want to hop in, there's more kinds of weekly featured events, including the weekly Grand Prix and the Classic Grand Prix, where you'll practice during the week and set a qualifying lap before then racing against other people that have been matched up against you on the weekend. But if you're part of a tightly knit community, you will be overjoyed with the multiplayer leagues. You create these to your own spec, setting the rules, deciding to run it on a schedule or on demand, giving players league roles to manage it, having open or invite-only leagues, and letting you vote on changes and so much more. Honestly, it just sounds brilliant for people that want to run their own competitions, or groups of people that have met through gaming websites and just love to get a few races in on a Monday evening. Yes, I'm talking about the 6th axis here. All of these things online feed into the Super License, which has been enhanced for this year with a league attendance rating, a trophy cabinet and game stats that you can compare with other races. Number 6 is Senna vs Prost. We've got plenty of classic cars in F1 games at the moment, and with the 2010 McLaren and Ferrari joining the roster to celebrate the 10th anniversary, there's even more. But a special Legends edition of the game will take a slightly different look. This will feature the great rivalry between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost, giving them character models in-game and also adding their 1990 McLaren and Ferrari to race it. They're also trying to do them a bit more justice by wrapping a few themed race events around their story. However, from what I've played at the preview event, it's a little bit disappointing, with a simple overtake minigame set against the clock as the one example that I had. Cody's do speak a good game of respecting their legacy, so hopefully the rest of this mode is a bit more fleshed out and a bit more engaging. Number 7, F1 2019 is out earlier than ever. To wrap up this list is something that Codemasters have promised a few times in the past but have never been able to deliver upon. The game is out earlier than ever before, so instead of hitting the shelves in August or September, it will be out on the 28th of June, or actually a few days earlier if you shell out for that sign-in on Pros stuff. This means it will be in time for more of the European leg of the championship, and let's face it, that's where a hell of a lot of F1 fans live, and so this is going to be a pretty huge deal for the game. That's all for this list, and I am glossing over some of what I consider to be slightly smaller changes, like the improved night lighting and a post-race highlight reel generator. Put it all together and this really is shaping up to be a pretty big step forward for Codemasters F1 games, and it's all thanks to the company expanding the team so that they can effectively develop on a 2-year cycle. That means that they're already working on 2020's game, and I cannot wait to see where they're taking the series next. As always, thanks for checking out our videos, and I hope that you found it useful. You can also head over to thesixthaxis.com for our written preview if you want a little bit more info. As with every other channel on YouTube, I'd love for you to like, subscribe and share this video, and hopefully you'll join us again sometime soon. So until next time, goodbye!